Translation. But to his devotees full of affection, they accomplish all the actions in order to achieve me, and who are exclusively devoted to me. O son of Pritha, I give them quickly liberation and freedom from birth and death. Commentary. The Lord Krishna manifests personally His mercy and His protection towards His devotees who take shelter of His person, and He frees them from this world of misery. He brings them to His eternal kingdom, where they become His eternal associates.
Shakshurumiritam jena taisme shirave Shri Manobhistam Stapitam jena bhuttari Swayam rupa kadamayam dadati swam Vadantikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Jagapati Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Vrichabhanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakarpataru Vyakcha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaye Bhaccha Pachitana Avanebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavino Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutari Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Sunyaradi Prachachari Shatari.
The absolute truth is known in three aspects: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. From the radiance of the Lord manifest His impersonal aspect, omnipresent, without diversity. From His person, He manifests a partial aspect, also omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, which is the Supreme Soul, and who accompanies the being in their heart, the living being. But He is also a person, because we also are persons, because we have feelings, because we want friends, because we want to know love. This origin of all these things is the Lord. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. Everything emanates from Him. Everything exists by Him and for Him. That's what we call the Absolute Truth, which in Sanskrit is written Krishna. But the word Krishna expresses the limit we can surpass. When the fear of God, the Creator, the Maintainer, the Destroyer,
et qu'on peut voir la
when it is removed, and then we can see the beauty and the sweetness of the Supreme Lord, His kingdom, then the conception of Krishna appears. It's not a sectarian conception
d'un clan,
of
institution.
an institution, of a group.
Alors bien sûr,
Of course,
le Vaishnavisme,
the Vaishnavism
l'apothéose de la conscience,
is the
dans
apotheose
le sens
of
de la
consciousness
conscience spirituelle.
in the sense of spiritual realization. But very few are realized souls. Most think I am a member of an institution, and I will not put my feet in another group. For those who are in another group, another mission, or
Donc,
so,
bien que le Seigneur
although the Lord wants to liberate His children
de toutes les fausses conceptions,
of all false conceptions of life, we have what we call free will.
et ce libre arbitre
And this free will,
exprimé dans
when
la
it is
condition
expressed
qui n'est pas parfaite,
in a condition that is not perfect in this material world,
il y a toujours une sorte
there's always a kind of limit,
d'une conception
a,
de division,
a conception of division,
disharmonie.
of disharmony.
Or, un des noms de
But
Krishna
one of the names of Krishna, one of Krishna's names
qu'ont donné les grands Vaishnavas,
that great Vaishnavas
c'est
gave
l'harmoniste.
is the harmonist.
Rencontrer Krishna,
Meeting
c'est-à-dire
Krishna
devenir
means
libéré de toute
to be
mauvaise
freed from all wrong conception,
pouvoir aimer
to be able to
tous
love
les êtres.
all living beings.
Mais tant qu'on n'a pas
But
été libéré des
Until
conceptions,
we have been liberated from false conceptions, it is not possible.
on continuera à
We will
penser,
continue to think,
je suis hindou,
I am Hindu, I am Muslim, Christian, I am ISKCON, Gaudiya Math,
etc.
etc., etc.
La mauvaise conception de l'Église,
The false conception
conception corporelle de l'Église.
is dividing,
Ça se passe partout.
and this is what is happening everywhere. That is why
Il faut comprendre
we must
pourquoi nous
understand
pratiquons,
why we practice
pour se libérer de tout
to
ça.
free us from all material conceptions.
L'institution,
The institution
elle n'est pas faite
is not made
pour nous empêcher de nous libérer.
to
Elle devrait être faite pour nous libérer.
refrain us from liberation. It should. How is that possible that 95% of people who are part of an institution,
demeurent conditionnés par des limites.
they are conditioned by limitations?
C'est pas facile.
It is not easy to understand.
Pourquoi même les
And why
acharyas
even the acharyas
des conceptions pour enfermer les gens
are putting conceptions to put
donc on parle
to-
d'un compasteur.
to put people in a box. We call that like a good shepherd.
Vous comprenez?
They are doing that. No?
Alors que le Seigneur est dans
You understand? Because but still the Lord is in the heart of everyone.
Parce que
Because
à un niveau immature,
in the immature level,
loin de la réalité,
we need barriers.
loin d'être guidé
We need to be guided
pour ne pas s'égarer.
to not be
Toutes les
lost.
religions, vous trouverez ces
all
choses.
religions. You will find this sectarian conception. All institutions they teach that.
Parce que quand
Because
vous
when
parlez
you speak
véritablement d'une
truly
conception libérée,
about a free,
les gens deviennent perdus.
a realized conception, then
Ils n'ont pas
people they become lost. They do not have the qualification
pour l'amour spontané,
for spontaneous love,
raganuga,
raganuga,
pour la dévotion spontanée.
for spontaneous
Ils ont besoin
devotion.
d'être accompagnés
They
d'une
need to be
conception
accompanied in a conception
qui leur permette
which
de ne pas s'égarer.
allows them
C'est pourquoi certains
to
sont
be secure.
étonnés.
That's why certain are sometimes surprised.
Les grandes âmes
How is that great souls,
prêchent une conception
they preach
d'enclos,
a conception of
où on enferme
putting people, closing people in a
pouvoir apprécier les
where we are closed in not being able to appreciate others, and that's what's happening truly.
Dès que vous venez
As soon as you
accepter un clan,
you accept a group,
parce qu'ils sont différents, parce qu'ils
then you reject others because they are different, because they not think in the same way, because they do not have the same appreciation
de telle personne.
or of the same object or same person, and then people are fighting.
Donc,
So
la véritable
the true
pratique du service
practice of devotional service must bring us to freedom
et à comprendre
and to understand these realities
On a un message de libération.
We have
On a un
a message
de protection, c'est ce que
of liberation, of protection.
Il a commencé
He,
par exprimer quoi, Arjuna?
Arjuna, how did he start to? He started to express, "You're not this false conception. You're the soul." That's what Krishna told him. The soul does not belong to
À une institution.
an institution.
D'ailleurs, quand
In-
un Vaishnava
When a Vaishnava
retourne dans la demeure
returns in the kingdom of the Lord,
que le Govindam Lamrita, il n'explique pas qu'il y a marqué
in the Govinda Lilamrita, it does not explain that there's ISKCON, the Gaudiya Math, there's no flags. You will forget this when you're there.
Donc c'est pourquoi
So this is why
faire partie d'une
we can be part of an institution,
ne peut pas nous freiner.
but it cannot refrain us,
Dans le fanatisme,
bring us into fanaticism, and to develop hatred of others.
elle doit nous amener à développer.
It must bring us to develop love.
Les gens ont le droit
People
de penser
have the right
autrement que vous.
to think different from you.
C'est leur droit.
It is their right,
Parce que le Seigneur
because the
a donné
Lord
ce choix.
gave them
Il les
this
aime
choice,
comme ça.
and He loves them like that.
Je lisais une teneur
I was reading a purport
où Prabhupada
where Prabhupada
exprime
was expressing,
qu'en enviant d'autres religieux,
when we
qui pratiquent
envy
le
other religious people who practice another
disant
path,
qu'ils n'adorent pas le même
by
Seigneur,
seeing that they do not worship the same Lord and it's not authentic, you offend the holy name,
parce que
the
c'est
Lord
lui
Himself,
qui inspire.
because He is the one
Pour
inspiring
ça,
everyone. That is why
il faut être ouvert d'esprit.
we must be open-minded.
Le Seigneur est une
The Lord is a
C'est ce que
person.
nous enseignent les Védas.
That's what the Vedas are teaching us.
Ils expriment. Ça bouge.
So the Lord,
Les
He
choses peuvent
expresses Himself. Things can evolve.
Vous comprenez?
You
L'enseignement
understand?
n'est pas figé.
The teaching is not
Parce que
fixed,
cette personne qui est
because
dans le
this
cœur,
person who is in the heart can express himself when he wants to whomever he
Et
wishes
ce qui est
to.
vraiment intéressant,
And what is really interesting
c'est qu'à chaque
is
fois
that each time
d'autres institutions
that
vient le jour,
another institution
les
appears,
institutions précédentes
the previous institutions, they criticize the new one like something not authentic. Is it true or not? And when this institution becomes big and another institution appears, that institution does the same thing also.
les anciennes institutions
So
qui
it
les
cri-
critiquaient.
He criticized also the previous institutions who were criticizing him. You understand the system of being in in prison? Then they criticize the previous one who were criticizing them, and then the guru told them not to do that.
C'est un enfermement psychologique.
It's a
énorme.
psychological imprisonment.
Et à cause de ça, on développe de la
And because of that, we develop hatred.
C'est pourquoi,
This is why
quand on chante,
when we chant,
on devrait chanter.
we
en
should
comprenant
chant
qu'on n'est pas
by understanding that we are not this body, we are not the institution,
en méditant même sur la
by
chanson,
meditating on the Acharya,
il a une
by understanding that he has a transcendental form.
Parce que souvent,
Because
dans l'institution,
often in an institution,
quand l'Acharya part,
when the Acharya
le
leaves,
concept de l'Acharya,
we create a concept
que
of
tout
the
le monde doit
Acharya
accepter.
that everyone must
Si vous
accept.
l'acceptez pas,
If you
vous
do not
êtes,
accept it, you are
comment on appelle ça,
what
un
we-
dévié,
you're a deviated, you're
un hérétique.
a
Un
heretic.
hérétique.
You become a
C'est ce qui s'est
heretic.
passé avec le Vatican.
That's what happened with the
Combien de
Vatican.
personnes ont été
How many people
au feu de bois?
were burned with firewood? Joan of Arc, we have the proof here. You understand? So many, Joan of Arc is particular, but many were burned simply because they thought differently. So we must not redo the same mistakes over again. We must let people think. If you let people think, so you will be able to liberate yourself. But if you do not let people think, what will happen? You will imprison yourself in a false conception, and you will not be able to progress, because you won't be able to see the Lord everywhere. The Lord Kapiladev explains that the one who worships the form of the deity, the Lord manifests in this form. And for those who cannot see this form, he accepts the worship. But the one who worships him but who criticize him, or to criticize other living beings, and because I am in their heart also, I do not accept his worship. So the institution can liberate as it can imprison. depends who is teaching us. What is the institution?
L'institution,
The institution
c'est quelque chose qui est
is something that is created by a pure devotee to allow conditioned souls to liberate themselves,
de s'enfermer.
but not to imprison themselves in the false conception.
Alors,
So,
on pourrait dire, mais c'est une offense.
everyone could say it's an offense to say this, but why do the majority of devotees do not liberate themselves?
Tu peux répondre à ça.
Can you answer that?
Et ceux qui sont libérés,
And those who are
je
liberated,
parle de vrais purs
I
dévotés.
speak about true devotees, true pure devotees, not simply someone dedicated to the institution we call a pure devotee. I'm talking about someone liberated from the bodily concept of life.
Parce que quand ils ont l'expérience,
Because when they have the experience of Krishna, they do not see any flags.
il n'y a pas de fanatisme,
There's no
il y a
fanaticism.
de l'amour.
There's only love.
Et cet amour,
And this love, it is true, manifests itself in the form of the institution, but the institution can be interpreted. The conception of the institution can become materialized by people who do not have the good conception, who cannot understand the mercy of the institution. And this is a problem. There can be then a deviation can happen of the original concept, of the original mercy. And instead of being a movement that liberates, it becomes a religious movement who does not allow people to liberate themselves. And this is not a good thing. This is why the leaders of the institution should be realized soul, self-realized soul, who are asking people in the institution to liberate themselves and not to imprison themselves. And you see, most preach psychological imprisoning. And you even start to make vows to stay in the institution. In fact, there are no institutions. There's one institution, it's the one of the Supreme Lord. It takes different dimensions, different aspects, and all religions come from the Supreme Lord. Why are we not letting living beings discover this plurality of love? You understand this principle? We must not be taken by preachers who do not have the qualification and who will cut ourselves from each other. A true spiritual master is someone who teaches us to see the Lord in everything, who teaches us to see Him in every situation and not be contaminated by matter. This is what a spiritual master teaches us, not to see demons everywhere. He teaches us love, good respect. It's really important. And then we will see that a person, people in general, will accept this path because it is good. Why are there so few people? It is because the language is hard, it's very cutting, very dividing. And we speak about love of God, whereas we cannot even love every living being. And this is rare. To be in a place where speaking about love, you cannot develop love, this is the worst thing. It creates frustrations. You understand? You'll say love, 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 but you don't feel it. This is crazy. With fighting bugs, with boxing gloves, you say this is love. Of course, we are not perfect, but we can at least accept a great faith. Otherwise, we'll be rejected by everyone. Nobody will love us, and we will love nobody. We will find ourselves alone, and we'll say, look, 3 rascals. Myself,
Quand j'étais
When I
au
was
début de ma vie spirituelle,
at the beginning of my spiritual life, I was in an institution. I joined a temple, and there were classes.
Waouh.
Wow!
Je peux vous dire que je sais de quoi je
I
parle.
can tell you, I know what I'm talking about.
Les démons, les
The
machins,
demons.
j'en ai entendu. Hein.
I heard a lot of
Il faut les
these.
sauver,
We must save them.
sauver. C'est un fanatisme.
This was a fanaticism.
Quand vous les voyez,
And then you look at them finally, at the end of their spiritual life. It's really interesting. You see them at 60, 70 years old. They made no spiritual advancement.
au lieu d'être détachés à ce monde,
Instead of being detached from this world, they find themselves completely entangled in matter. They develop no love
toute leur vie,
because all their life they saw demons. All their life
au détriment
to
pratique spirituelle qui devait
the opposite of a spiritual practice that was supposed to bring love of God. They because they saw hatred everywhere, they developed hatred. This is not our goal.
il faut changer notre vie.
We must change our
Il faut changer
vision.
notre vie.
We must change our life.
Bien sûr, il y a une
Of course,
discrimination.
there is a
C'est
discrimination.
pas parce qu'on doit aimer,
It's not because we must love.
tiens,
The one is smoking marijuana, I must follow him. I smoke marijuana,
c'est pas ça.
and then I must drink alcohol. No, it's not like that.
Il y a des choses qu'on va pas faire,
There are certain things we will
il y a
not
des
do,
choses qu'on va faire.
certain we will
On doit
do.
comprendre que
But
l'être
we must
humain,
understand that the living being
pur. C'est juste des
in himself he is pure. It's only coverings that are covering us.
On ne hait pas la vérité.
We do not hate the
On
truth.
peut certainement
We
pas
can-
adhérer à toutes les
we
choses,
can
parce qu'il y a des choses qui
at
sont
least
bonnes.
not accept all things because some things are not good, but we understand in the inside the living being there's the soul, the truth.
Donc voilà,
So yes,
je voulais parler un petit peu de ça, parce que
I wanted to speak a little bit about this because we meet a lot of fanaticism, and this is really sad.
même dans notre voie,
Even in our own path,
tout présent.
it's really present.
Bien sûr, ils posent pas de bombes,
Of course, they do not put bombs,
mais
but
on doit vraiment
we must really
délivrer
try to deliver
les êtres
living beings
de mauvaises conceptions,
from false conceptions of hatred,
leur apprendre à aller plus loin, leur
to teach them to go deeper in their love
juste être enfermé dans une
and not just be imprisoned in a group.
Par exemple,
You see the materialistic people, what they do? They create their kingdom.
petite maison,
It's their small house, their family.
telle personne,
They accept this person or that person.
ils discriminent, c'est leur
They
roi.
discriminate, it's their
Là,
kingdom.
quelque part, on fait la même chose avec
In reality, we do the same thing with the institution. We think this is for love of God,
les personnes que vous-
but nobody can come.
ça, c'est-
We cannot help anybody. It's weird, no?
Posez-vous cette question.
Ask yourself this question. You will have the answer. Thank you.